Chief Eagleson, in my other responsibilities on Capitol Hill, I am on Homeland Security and chairman of Emergency Preparedness, Response, and Communications. And so I spend a lot of my time trying to make sure that you and your colleagues have the training and the safety equipment and the things to respond to these emergencies and be prepared well in advance of them. And so, you know, I take a lot of pride in that as well. Let me ask you, in your testimony, you note that it wasn't clear how many LEPCs are active in carrying out their missions. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be a disconnect between LEPCs, local pipeline operators, and other external stakeholders. What happened, and why does this disconnect exist, and what can be done to fix the disconnect? You know, it's critical that the LEPCs are up and effectively running.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the question, and I appreciate your service with Homeland Security as well. I'm not sure why some LEPCs are dysfunctional or don't exist. I can speak from my own experience in the Charlottesville-Albemarle area. We have a very active LEPC, and it's mainly driven by the community's demand for transparency and information, and my responsibility to ensure that our citizens are protected. So that's my main driver. I reach out and connect with industry, and they are grateful to meet with me and discuss the hazards in my community. So I think it takes a will of both the locality as well as industry to meet and form the LEPC. That's basically who it's made of. So it's responsibilities on both sides. I will tell you that I have previously worked in a community that had strong industry, and we had 100% complete transparency working with industry, and had one of the strongest LEPCs that I remember being associated with. And we had a number of hazardous material incidents in those industries, and they went very smooth because of the communication and the information sharing that happened. Mm-hmm. And when I look at the hazards across our country related to pipeline, it really starts off with partnerships with the operators and information. Because when we send our firefighters out the door to respond to an incident is with this kind of magnitude, we need to arm them with as much information as we can, because I don't want to send them into an incident blindly, because it's not fair to the citizens and not fair to my firefighters.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So you think it becomes a issue around the community sometimes is
yes, sir.
In terms of how important this interaction is?
It is. I think it also comes down to funding. Some rural communities cannot afford to properly fund their LEPC, so I think that's where the IFC is working with PHMSA to help fund adequately some of those LEPCs that serve the rural areas but tend to have hazards related to the pipelines that run through them. So in some cases it's community activity, in a lot of cases it comes down to funding.
Okay. Thank you. In your testimony, you mentioned that your organization is using your community safety emergency planning response and outreach grant to help LEPCs prepare for incidents in their communities. I'm interested in learning exactly how you're making sure that the community LEPCs are prepared to respond to the pipeline emergencies. Can you describe some of the programs you have with the LEPC to ensure that preparedness?
Certainly. I have. We have created some products and training in cooperation with one incident here, or not incident, company, TransCanada here, to provide training to local responders in the LEPC. There's a number of other training products that we've had developed as well that I'd be more than happy to send you after the fact.
Okay, thank you very much. Mm-hmm. And I will yield back the balance of my 1 second.